Alright, I'm going to try to do another room that's not upside down. And if you want me to show you how to do anything like a lofted bed or like a dresser, anything like that, just give me a message so that I can work on something that is specific to you. Alright, so remember, we are going to start out any one-point perspective drawing. We would start out with using a horizon line, and I'm going to start my horizon line a bit low here, and then the most important part of our drawing is that vanishing point. So I'm going to make my vanishing point right there, and I'm going to start with this side wall over here. I'm going to line up my ruler to make sure that it's straight across right there. And bring a line down, and a line is going to come across for the floor. This is the back wall and where the floor meet, and that's going to be the other side wall, and then this will be where the ceiling and the back wall meet. Alright, so I just made a square rectangle shape on for my back wall here. Then I will use that vanishing point and those intersections to make the lines come out towards the edge of the paper so that I can look like it is three-dimensional. So vanishing point, intersection, line out. So now I have my floor. This looks like my back wall and my two side walls, and to make the ceiling I will add vanishing point, corner, and make those lines come out. Vanishing point and corner. Alright. Since I don't know where my eraser is, I'm just going to keep drawing on top of these lines that would disappear. If you had an eraser, you would probably get rid of that horizon line, and you can clean up lines as you go. Hopefully I find my eraser in the next few days. So we're going to start by making a bed that's sort of like Van Gogh's bed. Actually, I'm going to start with the door. I'm going to start with the door over here, and I will just make a straight line from where the floor and the wall meet. This is an orthogonal line, so that diagonal orthogonal line that comes out from that vanishing point is where I'm going to actually start that line. And this is a vertical line that goes up, and then I'm going to make my door a little shorter than that, I think. So I'm going to use my vanishing point and line it up there so that I have my door, top of my door frame, and then bring it back down over this side. I could add a door handle, and I could add a door frame as well. Then over here, I'm going to start by making a bed. So what I want to start to do is make the back, the part that's going to sit up against the back wall. So I'm going to do like the headrest, the headboard back there. And I'm going to make my bed just like a twin size bed. And I'm going to have the bottom of it end right here, and the top of it end right there, and then I'm going to finish those with some more vertical lines. And then in between I would probably add some slats, so I'm going to just make a line that's going to come across for now, and then I'll add my slats in once I have my bed. So I'm going to think about my bed being off the ground a bit, like probably it'll probably be about like right here, and then the mattress will probably be about this high. So what I just did was I made the back of my room, I put the headboard back here, and then I figured about how big my mattress would be. So this is about how thick I think it would be, and then I'm going to start by making the top of the mattress come out towards the edge of the room. So I'm going to make it look like it's coming out towards me. So I'm using the vanishing point and the top of the mattress to make it come out this way, okay? And then I'm going to do that same thing with this side of the mattress. that it's going to come out this way towards us. Okay, so it's a pretty distorted shape. That's what happens in perspective drawing, right? We wouldn't be able to see this side because it's not a see-through bed, but this side we would be able to see a little bit of the side of the bed. So I'm going to have this line come down too as well. Okay. All right. So if I wanted to have the bed end here, this would be a straight up and down line. So the other straight up and down line would probably be about right here, and then I would end my bed right about there as well. So this might be where the mattress ends right here. Okay. So I'll just bring that out to the end of the paper. So I've got something that looks like a big, large shape that is kind of confusing. But what you are going to do is you're going to think about this as the shape that you would lay on top of. So I would think about adding my pillow up here, and then I would also think about adding a blanket that's going to come up and across, and then maybe another one just like that. And then what we can do is I will outline these so that this starts to come out to look a little bit more realistic. Okay, so since I don't have my eraser, I'm just going to be outlining so that you can see the things that are important to see. The things that I'm not outlining would probably be things that you would end up erasing, like that line right there I'd probably get rid of, and I'd erase everything in here. So I'm just going to color over those though. Alright, so I'm going to start out by outlining the back of my bed frame right here. And then I'm going to add a couple slats in there. So before I do that with marker, I'm just going to add a couple right here. Yeah, I don't love the way that turned out, so I'm going to just go over it with my marker. Alright, so then what I can do is I can color this whole section like brown so that it looks like the bed. I don't have a brown right now, so I'm just going to make it gold. I think a gold bed frame would be kind of cool. I might also have a frame down at this end. Usually if there's a frame on one end, there's another frame on the other. So I want to add just a little bit of something right here. So I'm going to add, I should do it on pencil first. A little bit of a frame that would be right here, and then I'll just add a line that's going to come across for that. So that'll be where the bed frame would end right here. And wish I wouldn't have colored that in with the, oh look that, my gold goes right over it, perfect. And then I'll just add a few more of those little slats down here. Alright, this side would be a little different, I guess. I didn't make them matching both the headboard and the end board of the bed, but that's alright. Alright, so then if I wanted to add a window to my room, I'm going to put that window on the back wall, sort of like Van Gogh has in his room, and I'm going to put that window about right here. So I want to think about making sure that I'm making a vertical line again, so I'm using either this or another vertical line that I've already created to help me figure out where I'm going to put my window. So I'm going to start my window about right here, and then I'll bring it across. And I think I'm going to want to be able to see out of this window, so I want to do a little T-bar in the back, and then maybe a couple little frames here so that I can look outside. And I'm going to also frame that window. I'm going to frame my door as well in a moment, but to just get this started. Alright, so I could make like a scene outside if I'd like to. I don't have a picture of Van Gogh's room in front of me right now, but I believe that he had a table right here, so I'm going to make a little table, and then I'll add a chair over here as well, sort of like what he had in his room. So I'm going to start with what the table would be up against that back wall, and I'm going to have the legs come down like this. Then I want it to come out a bit, so I want it to be a 3D table that comes out a little bit. So I want to bring the top of the table, again I'm using that vanishing point, and I'm going to bring it out like this. And then I would end my table with a horizontal line, so that line needs to come out a bit more. Alright, so leg down here, there was another leg back there, and this leg's going to be right in front of that one, so we won't even see that one that would have been in the back. And then connect this to make it look 3D, and bring another leg out. Alright, so we've got a table off in the corner here. We could put some, like a stack of some books on here, or a pitcher and some water. I'm just going to put a vase for now, and then we'll put some flowers in that. And I believe we'll do the chair. Van Gogh has a chair right here. He also has one right there. We are going to just do one right here just to make sure that we don't make this video too long. Alright, so I want to make my chair look like it is about the height of a chair, which would be, if you look at the back of a chair, it's usually about the height of like where a door handle is, so I'm going to do mine about that height. And then I'm just doing like the side view of a chair, which to me looks like that. It's like a straight line down and another line across, like an H. So then I would use that to make my chair go back in space, so it's going to kind of overlap in front of that table that I made. So I'm using the edges of where the chair's intersecting shapes are happening with that vanishing point. And that'll help me figure out where my chair can fit in space here. Alright, and the top of the chair too. Alright, so once I have my lines going back in space towards the vanishing point, I want to think about how those shapes in front work. So this is a horizontal line, that's going to be a horizontal line. Horizontal, so that's going to follow that one because it is like the part that we were sitting on, right? Alright, so we've got an orthogonal line that's going back towards the vanishing point. So we're going to drop our other leg down to that point. And same thing right here. There's going to be a leg right here, but we don't know where it goes. Oh yeah, we do. It goes to that vanishing, or to that orthogonal line right there. That's going towards the vanishing point. Alright, so then this goes straight up to meet that line that was going towards the vanishing point. So we've got our chair, we've got our table, and then you can start to color these things in. You could add things on the walls. I'm going to add like a couple pictures on the walls so that you can see what those would look like. Things on the walls do tend to look a little bit distorted as well, so it might be good to see that. So I'm going to color my chair one color so that you can see the difference between the chair and the table, since that is slightly confusing. Alright, so let's just do the outline of the chair in black. Alright, and then I could add that vase or whatever I've added on top of it. Alright, so to add anything on the walls, Van Gogh had some pictures up on the walls, so I'm just going to add a couple over here. I'm going to use that vanishing point to make my lines that are going to start the top and the bottom of whatever picture I decide to put over there, and then they just end with some vertical lines. So I'll do a couple pictures. I'm going to do like 2 right there, I guess, and then just vertical lines. So again, the way that this works is that you are using your vanishing point, you're putting your ruler on the vanishing point, and you'll rotate your ruler directly in that same point, okay? So I'm going to make a line that goes like that on the wall, and then another one like this, and then 2 verticals. Anything that's on the back wall does not need to use that vanishing point to make the lines that would have been horizontal, right? So like, let's say I wanted to put a picture up here above the bed. That's just gonna be like a flat 2D surface. So it's just like with that window, we don't have to think about using the vanishing point back there. Unless it was something that's coming off of the wall, like a bookshelf, then we would have to use that vanishing point there, okay? Alright, so if we want to make like a wooden floor here, I can measure out kind of some evenly spaced marks here, and then use that vanishing point to intersect with both of those points, and they will make the room look like we can actually walk into this space. So again, using the vanishing point, using the point that I just marked out here to evenly space out some wooden slats. Alright, so that's my wooden floor, and then I can start to color it and add any details. So I'm going to think about what's outside my window. I'm going to think about what's on my wall. These things might be things that are actually in your home. Maybe they're things that you wish were in your home. Maybe you could add like your dream TV up on the wall, or the largest bookshelf possible. Challenge yourself to think of things that would be in your dream room if you were able to choose anything in the world for your room to look like. This would be kind of fun. Alright, so to make sure that we're seeing that back wall and where the floor and the ceiling meet and the floor and the wall meet, I'm just going to outline to make sure that these things are showing up. You don't need to outline, it's just I think it's helpful for the video since it's a little hard to see. Alright, so again, it's really hard to see where that bed ends, but once I color in this whole comforter, I could design it with, like, you know, some designs that I like, or I could just color it all one color, which I think might just be the fastest thing for me to do right now. Let's see, what do I have here? just gonna color. And then the side of the blanket is coming down over here, so I just want to make sure that I add that as well, because it's like a nice tucked in, well-made bed. Personally have not made my bed in a few days, so I should probably do that today. And then I would see a little bit of that blue poking through right here in each one of these sections. And if I had colored pencils to work with, I could do really nice shading here so that I would have those things, you know, think about the way that the light and the shadow would be working here. But right now, I think we'll just show it in marker just so that it's nice and bold and everyone can see it. Alright, so I've got a blue pillowcase, white sheets, and a blue comforter. And pretty simple room, which is just fine. It does not need to be a complicated room, especially when you're first starting perspective drawing. It's nice to start out with simple things and to practice it in a lot of different ways. I'm going to put like a couple trees in the background just so that it looks like there's something happening outside. And then maybe just shading it a little bit darker in the sky area so those things pop out even more. And if I wanted to add curtains, I could easily do that as well by just adding like lines that come across like this and then just drape following straight down or curved like that. This one I'm going to just leave without the curtains. Alright, thanks for watching.